What's up you guys and welcome back. Today we're gonna be opening the June ScrawlrBox and we'll try to create something awesome. So let's see what's inside. Firstly, the manual for this month's box, which I'll read after I see all the supplies. Then we have an Aqua watercolor travel set from TSHIRTS. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It feels very sturdy right off the bat, which I like a lot. I'm just gonna unwrap it quickly to see how it looks inside, and alright, that's it. I like it, but I'm just gonna put these on the place first, and well, there's nothing extraordinary about these watercolors. They look pretty normal, but so far I'm really happy with this product. Next we have a white Posca Pen, something that I've been dying to try out, so I'm so excited that they've included it in this month's box. The nib of this pen seems quite thin, so I'm thinking that it's probably gonna do an awesome job with some white highlights on my drawing. Then we have a Tedlar erasable pencil, which I assume is probably gonna be similar to Polychromos Pencils by Prismacolor. And then, oh my god, these are my literally favorite pencils, the Faber Castell Polychromos. I use them all the time and you guys know that. And we got them in Van Dyke Brown and Earth Green Yellowish. Last but not least, we got a cute ScrawlrBox sticker for this month and something sweet, of course. For the artwork of the month, we have this cute piece by Joanna Fee. I really don't know how to pronounce your name. I can totally tell that this is my kind of illustration and I totally love it. And then as the very last piece of this month's box, we have the Langton Prestige watercolor paper, which seems quite thick, which I appreciate. But at the same time, it's quite textured, so that's something I'm not a fan of. Alright, and now it's swatching time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really hyped for the supplies from this month's box because they're just something right up my alley. Okay, so let's see the watercolors first. I'm gonna use the brush that is included in the set and I'll swatch a couple of colors. Honestly, I'm not a fan of TSHIRTS supplies. I've been trying a couple of their products and nothing seemed to fit my needs really. But these watercolors, so far, they perform quite well. They seem really pigmented, so I'm excited to use them in my drawing later on. Then let's quickly swatch those Polychromos Pencils. I use them for all my artwork, so I know this supply through and through, but today it might be a little more complicated because on texture paper they might not perform that well as they usually do. Then let's see this Tedlar Pencil, and here's the same situation as with Polychromos. It's hard to tell if this pencil is good on such texture paper, so I'm just gonna find it out on my own later on and I'm gonna let you guys know if this might become my favorite after Polychromos Pencils, who knows. And finally my long-awaited Posca Pen. I see that it requires a little bit of pressing the nib against the surface to activate it, like with most of the oil markers or some acrylic markers, which I don't mind at all. Well, it seems very opaque, which I love and which I kind of expected, but like I said before, I think it's gonna make for an amazing pen to do the white highlights with, so I'm already excited to use it. So once I was familiar with all the supplies included in this box, I started to sketch, of course. And this time I paid attention to the Scrawler challenge of this month and the theme of it, which was Summer Flourish. And well, this topic didn't tell me that much at the beginning. I needed to kind of figure out my own way of how to approach it and just take some time on kind of gathering some ideas. But also looking at the piece that was included in this box, I kind of got a grasp of the idea that I wanted to put on the paper. So the first thing that came to my mind when I thought of summer flourish, I thought of a girl holding flowers. I mean, this idea is not that original, I know that, but it just kind of sparked in my mind and I really wanted to sketch it out. So I didn't want her to just, stand and smile or whatever, but I wanted her to be a little more dynamic and of course represent the summer feeling. And also regarding your guys' comments under my previous video with ScrawlrBox, you were not that happy, so to say, that I used the supplies that were not in the box. So this time, since I really love the supplies, it was no problem for me to use only those that were included in the box. I didn't take anything else to create this illustration, and that wasn't even challenging or hard for me, so I was quite happy about it. And I also hope you guys are going to appreciate that. And well, I knew need to admit that with those supplies, it was just a pure pleasure for me to create this illustration, and I was enjoying the process very much. The problem I usually come across when I use watercolors is that they don't blend that well, and I don't know if that's a problem of the paper that I'm using or the watercolors itself, but this time the problem was kind of solved. Either it was thanks to this paper that I received in the box or the watercolors that I also received in the box, that's kind of obvious, but everything was blending really well. I didn't see any undesired streaks of colors, so like I said, it was just a pleasure to color this illustration. But the only drawback for me with this month's box was the paper. I'm not a fan of this much texture when it comes to watercolor paper. Personally, I prefer to use a smoother paper because then it's really hard for me to do a precise sketch and add some details in the line work, which I need to do because otherwise I'm not able to make my illustration as good as I usually do. But the only thing that I managed to do to overcome this obstacle a little bit was to sharpen my pencils, this Tedlar pencil and later on those Polychromos ones. I was sharpening them so they had this really pointed tip and I was able to execute all the details that I wanted. So, well, this is what I did and this is how this illustration was basically created. And now my question to you guys is, do you actually enjoy those ScrawlrBox videos? Because the idea of subscription box is actually growing on me quite much, so I would be happy to do those ScrawlrBox videos every month for you, but I just need to know if you're actually enjoying watching them. So please let me know in the comments, I would appreciate that a lot. And well, now I'm just gonna leave you to enjoy the rest of the coloring process and I really hope that you're gonna like it. So well, that is all from me and thank you so much for watching and I hope I'll see you in my next videos. Take care guys, bye!
like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now.